Good morning, students. Today let us discuss about the remaining parts of the basic concepts of immunology, that is part 2. First one is lymphocytes. Now let us see what are lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are the types of white blood cells that helps the immune system to defend against disease and infection. So these are of two types. One is T lymphocytes and another one is B lymphocytes. T lymphocytes means the lymphocytes which are matured in thymus gland, whereas B lymphocytes are the lymphocytes which are matured in bone marrow in case of mammals, bursa fabricus in case of birds. సో ఇక్కడ లింఫోసైట్లు అంటే ముఖ్యంగా రోగనిరోధక వ్యవస్థలో ముఖ్య పాత్ర వహించేటటువంటి కణాలను లింఫోసైట్స్ అంటాము. ఇవి రెండు రకాలు, బి లింఫోసైట్స్, టి లింఫోసైట్లు. B lymphocytes plays a prominent role in antibody mediated immunity, whereas T lymphocytes plays a prominent role in cell mediated immunity. Next one is hematopoiesis. Hematopoiesis is the production of all the cellular components of blood and blood plasma. It occurs within the hematopoietic system, which includes organs and tissues like bone marrow, liver and spleen. So bone marrow is the major hematopoietic tissue. Simply, hematopoiesis is the process through which body manufactures blood cells. If it is the manufacturing of RBC, it is called erythropoiesis. If it is the manufacturing of WBC, it is called leukopoiesis. Next one is antigen presenting cells. So antigen presenting cells are heterogeneous group of immune cells that mediate the cellular immune response by processing and presenting antigens for recognition by certain lymphocytes such as T cells. Classical antigen presenting cells includes dendritic cells, macrophages, Langerhans cells and B cells. వీటినే ప్రతిజనక సమర్పణ కణాలు అంటాము. అంటే దేహంలోకి ప్రవేశించినటువంటి ప్రతిజనకానికి రోగనిరోధక వ్యవస్థలో భాగమైనటువంటి కణాలకు ఎదుర్కోవటానికి సెల్ మీడియేటెడ్ ఇమ్యూనిటీ ద్వారా కానీ ప్రతిదేహ మధ్యవర్తిత్వ ఇమ్యూనిటీ ద్వారా కానీ వీటిని ఎదుర్కోవటానికి అనుకూలంగా ఈ కణాలు అనేటటువంటి ప్రతిజనకాన్ని బి లింఫోసైట్లకు కానీ టీ లింఫోసైట్లకు కానీ అటాచ్ చేయటం వల్ల దీనిని ప్రతిజనక సమర్పణ కణాలు అంటారు. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఇస్ ఫాగోసైటోసిస్. Phagocytosis is the process by which a cell uses its plasma membrane to engulf a large particle, giving rise to an internal compartment called phagosome. It is one type of endocytosis. In multicellular organisms, immune system, phagocytosis is a major mechanism used to remove pathogens and cell debris. So it is simply the mechanism of cell eating. Next one is complement system. Here complement means it's a set of plasma proteins. Nearly there will be 20 to 30 proteins, also known as complement cascade. It attacks and kills extracellular pathogens. It is a part of immune system that enhances the ability of antibodies and phagocytic cells to clear microbes and damaged cells from an organism, promote inflammation and attack the pathogen's cell membrane. Next one is cytokines. The term cytokine is derived from a combination of two Greek words, cyto meaning cell, kinos meaning movement. So cytokines are cell signaling molecules that aid the cell to cell communication in immune responses and stimulate the movement of cells towards the sites of inflammation, infection and trauma. So cytokines may be produced from the lymphocytes, they may be produced from macrophages, they may be produced from granulocytes, fibroblasts and endothelial cells. So they mainly helps in the signaling between immune cells. Next one is interleukins. These are one type of cytokines. So interleukins are a type of cytokines expressed by leukocytes because they are mainly used for the communication between the leukocytes. That's why they are called as interleukins. They play essential role in the activation and differentiation of immune cells as well as proliferation, maturation, migration and adhesion. Next one is interferons. These are also called as antiviral proteins. వైరస్ వ్యతిరేక ప్రోటీన్లని కూడా వీటిని అంటారు. Interferons are a group of signaling proteins made and released by the host cells in response to the presence of several viruses. In a typical scenario, a virus-infected cell will release interferons, causing nearby cells to heighten their antiviral defense. For example, if you see in the diagram, the cell which is infected by virus, it produces interferons, and these interferons are released from virus-infected cell, and they make the surrounding cells to prevent the viral infection. So they make the surrounding cells get ready to attack the viral infections. That's why they are called as antiviral proteins, which are produced by viral infected cells, and they prevent the surrounding cells from the virus attack. Next one is major histocompatibility complex. In short terms, it will be called as MHC. So here major histocompatibility complex, it's a large locus on vertebrate DNA containing a set of closely linked polymorphic genes that codes for cell surface proteins which are essential for the adaptive immune system. This locus got its name because it was discovered in the study of tissue compatibility upon transplantation. These major histocompatibility are mainly three types: MHC1, MHC2, MHC3. This major histocompatibility complex in case of human beings is called as human leukocyte antigen, or in short form it is HLA. So the human leukocyte antigen system or complex is a group of related proteins that are encoded by the major histocompatibility complex gene in humans. These cell surface proteins are responsible for the regulation of immune system. Next one is apoptosis. This is generally called as programmed cell death or cellular suicide. So it is different from necrosis, in which cells die due to injury. In apoptosis, it is an orderly process in which the cell's contents are packaged into small packets of membrane for garbage collection by immune cells. In the picture, if you see the cell, chromatin will be condensed slowly when the cell is reaching the aging. Due to chromatin condensation, the membrane bubbling will take place. It is followed by nuclear collapse. Ultimately, apoptotic body formation will take place. Simply, it leads to removal of that cell from the body. Next one is vaccination and immunization. Now let us see what is the major difference between vaccination and immunization. Mainly students will confuse between vaccination and immunization. Even though these two terms seems to be similar, there is a little bit difference between vaccination and immunization. Here vaccination means it is the process of administration of vaccine to help the immune system to develop and protection from a disease. Whereas immunization is the process whereby a person is made immune or resistant to an infectious disease, typically by the administration of the vaccine. Here vaccines contains microorganisms or virus in a weakened form, live or killed state, or proteins or toxins from the organisms. Whereas in case of immunization, the vaccines stimulates the body's own immune system to protect the person against subsequent infection or disease. So vaccination is nothing but taking of vaccines, whereas immunization is nothing but whenever the vaccine is given, that vaccine works in the immune system and it produces antibodies against that vaccine, and in future if the same antigen attacks, the immune system is ready to attack. That is called as immunization. Next one is hypersensitivity. Hypersensitivity is an exaggerated immune response to a specific antigen or drug. దీన్ని అతిగ్రాహకత్వము అంటాం. సో ఇక్కడ రోగనిరోధక వ్యవస్థ ఏదైనా ప్రతిజనకానికి అవసరమైన దానికన్నా ఎక్కువగా స్పందించినట్లయితే దీనిని అతిగ్రాహకత్వము లేదా హైపర్ సెన్సిటివిటీ అంటాము. This is of mainly 4 types: type 1, type 2, type 3 and type 4. Hypersensitivity reactions include allergic reactions. can be sometimes life-threatening. Generally, they causes inflammation and anaphylaxis, but in some of the cases, they may also lead to life-threatening. Next one is autoimmunity. This word itself is self-explanatory. Autoimmunity is the system of immune responses of an organism against its own healthy cells and tissues. And any disease that results from such an aberrant immune responses is termed as autoimmune disease. And generally, these autoimmune diseases are more prevalent in female rather than male. And there are nearly more than 100 autoimmune diseases are there in human beings, and depending upon the type of location, whether they are distributed to a particular part or whether they are distributed to total body, they may be classified into local autoimmune diseases and systemic autoimmune diseases. And another type of autoimmune diseases are hemolytic autoimmune diseases, which affects only the parts of the blood, that may be RBC, WBC or platelets. So thank you, dear students.